So I'm pleased to be joined with Jess Shannon. You are a local artist here from Grunthal, Manitoba, and you're an up-and-coming artist. We want to introduce you kind of to the CHVN listeners, and then they can get to know you, your music, your passion, your heart behind your music. You have a song called The Beloved, and we're going to chat about that as well in just a few minutes. But yeah, maybe could you just take a couple minutes to just introduce yourself and how you got started in music in the first place?
Sure. So I grew up in southern Manitoba, and I was brought to church by my parents most Sundays, not every Sunday, but I got into music primarily probably through worship service, as well as school. There was music played around the house. I remember my parents listened mostly to country and to Christian worship music. My mom bought those WOW CDs from the 2000s. So that would have been playing as I was growing up. As a young person, I played in band. I also sang in choir. And I played the clarinet, but I don't anymore. But that would have technically been my first instrument. I always loved the sound of an acoustic guitar, though. So when I think I turned 15, 16, I got my first guitar for Christmas, and that's still my favorite instrument to this day. And from there, I started learning how to play, and eventually I started writing. And yeah, it just kind of grew from there.
And yeah, what's that like? Having that kind of childhood dream, something that you grew up in, something that was just normal in your own household, and now that's something that you're like actually pursuing as an adult.
Yeah, it's something I didn't dream to do it, not like traditionally like others do. I was very introverted and very shy. I didn't play around the house. I always played in my room with the door closed. So part of it has been I got the guitar and I told myself I don't want to play for anyone. I just want to play for myself. And then my mother started helping in worship at our church, and then she volunteered me. She's like, my daughter plays guitar, and the musicians were very sweet, and they're like, yeah, she can come play if she's interested. So then I started playing out of the house and started playing in church, and then I told myself, I won't ever record. That would be too much. And then my cousin got into production, and I saw what he was doing, and I'm like, I think I could do that. And so I bought my gear and just like a starter, and I started learning it very slowly. And as I was learning it, I realized I'm gonna need help. I can't just do this on my own. And that's when I contacted a studio and wanted to do a professional recording, primarily to learn a bit more production, but also to work with a real producer and to do it more legit.
That sounds so cool. So when you're, let's say, writing a song, writing music, how would your faith play into that?
Yeah, I think faith is the driving factor. I don't think I would do this as intentionally as I do without faith. So, for example, a lot of the songs that I've been writing lately, I've been writing more geared to that I could sing it with the congregation at my own church. And so that has changed the way I write a little bit. But initially when I started writing, I write a bit of both. I write a bit of secular music, but mostly faith-based music, primarily because that's the heart of why I exist. And the purpose of a Christian life is, at the core of it, is Christ. We get up in the morning and we thank him for the sweet mercies that we receive every morning. It's part of every aspect of what we do in this life for his glory. And the blessings we receive is because he's so good to us, and then we show gratitude through worship. And so I think it's related in many, many aspects, but those are just a few.
And who would be some of your biggest musical inspirations that you really like to listen to and look to?
Yes. So growing up, I felt there was a bit of a limited variety of genre in my household. So when I finally could select the genre of music I wanted to listen to, I dove into many other genres. Um, so there's just different aspects that I appreciate from various artists. So vocally, I really enjoy Lauren Daigle. And then lyrically, I got very much into Bob Dylan. Um, and so he helped just, with formatting and the way that you can phrase a song. I also enjoy arrangements because I do my own production from a few other artists, mainly like older artists. So I listen to a bit of Tom Petty. But Christian-wise, yeah, anything on CHVN, like I'll listen to City of Light or even Bethel music for vocals, arrangement, and yeah.
And it must be kind of cool, you listen to something and maybe it's just kind of like one melody or something like that, and you're like, oh, like I want to kind of do that in my own way. So then you can kind of
Exactly.
pick apart, and then that obviously just helps you kind of create your sound as well, right?
Exactly. I was telling a friend, she had a playlist. I went on a trip this last summer, and we were driving through Scotland actually, and she had her Christian playlist, and I was like, this is fantastic. And she's like, do you know this song? Do you know this song? Do you know this? And I was like, no, these are all new. I'm like, they're super good. They're new. And I told her, I play the most worship music. I listen to a lot of music, like worship music, but I'm like, I listen to other genres because I want to incorporate musical aspects with Christian lyrics.
Mm-hmm.
Because when you have unique tones, it can make the song stand out. And that's what I enjoy, to have more diversity within the genre. That's what I enjoy playing with when I'm producing at home.
And I guess also that could be kind of a cool factor, just reaching other people that maybe wouldn't necessarily go to Christian music because they're like, hey, I don't want to listen to this. But if you can kind of have that catchy, upbeat, or powerful, kind of whatever sound you're going for, but then incorporating the Jesus lyrics, then you get the best of both worlds, right?
Yes. Yeah.
And so, for you releasing this song called The Beloved, what was that process like for you? Were you nervous? Were you excited?
Yes, I didn't have enough time to be nervous by the end of it because I'm such a procrastinator. I could have released it sooner. But yeah, for the first time to learn the whole process of everything, and then people's response as well. I knew the quality of production was there because I got to work with an amazing producer, JP, from Private Ear Recording here in Winnipeg. But I didn't know the lyrics were mine, and the arrangement. I liked it, but I also didn't know if it was too simple. And so working with that in my own brain, I was a little nervous, but everyone's been super supportive, family and friends.
Oh, that's so exciting.
Yeah.
So what's kind of the message that you hope people will take away after they listen to that song?
Well, it was kind of inspired. I was listening to a message, and the primary scripture was in John. I can't remember the exact verse, but it was, he who has the Son has the life. And the pastor was explaining what that all meant. And it had a lot to do with when we become Christians, we are adopted as brothers and sisters to Christ. And we are given the same things that Christ will receive when the Lord comes. So I never understood that, not very well. But the way the pastor was explaining it, he explained the inheritance better to me than I'd ever understood it before, which is that when we become Christians, we receive the favor of God, the Father, that he has for the Son, the love and the adoration and the blessings that he gave to Jesus while he was on earth. We have that same favor when we become Christians. So and that favor is not dependent upon our actions. And that was just so beautiful to me. The chorus is, oh, the depths of the riches, all from the Son, and the grace of the Father, for my heart he's won. In the silence I can hear him call. He who receives my Son gets it all. And I'd never, ever thought of it that way, that what all encompasses when God says he loves us, and the blessings that come with that love.
And yeah, it's so cool just when you kind of understand something for the first time in a different way,
Mm-hmm.
and then it's like you can kind of take that lyrically and then you can make something beautiful out of it as well, right? You can, that's just, I mean, music is not my strong suit, but it's cool to get to hear other people get to talk about this kind of stuff. So looking forward for you, what's on the horizon? Is there more music coming out?
Yes. I'm hoping for a summer release of an album or an EP, depending on what all gets done by summer. So yeah, I have another song with JP. I have another song I'm sending him at the end of January. I might release a folk EP, which is my own production, just from my own home studio, if it all pans out, if the Lord is willing. And then so hopefully lots more music to come. That is the plan.
And then where's the best place for people to kind of follow along with your journey?
Right. You can follow me on Instagram at Jess Shannon Music. I have a YouTube channel that's slowly starting. For now, that's what we have, and we'll build from there.
All right. Well, Jess, thanks so much for coming in, stopping by, and sharing your heart and sharing about your music. And we're excited to see kind of where God leads you with this.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.